Well, the first thing, when I was told autism, I had no idea what that meant. And so I went online and I did a Google search for autism, and there's 750,000 pages. And it said, the first thing I read said, autism is a lifelong disabling neurological disorder. Typically, these kids are in a group home at the age of 25. I said, not my kid. That was the first step to recovery. My denial was different, not my kid.
But the first year, there were no signs of anything, in my opinion. He hit all the milestones on time, if not early. Everything was fine. Shortly after a year, the opening and closing doors for hours at a time, if you let him, and turning on and off light switches for hours at a time, if you let him. So he was 2 years, 2 months when he was diagnosed. We started on the gluten-free, casein-free diet. We met Lisa Ackerman, who started Talk About Curing Autism, and she's another one of those angels from heaven. And that introduced us to the whole biomedical. But we started with therapy, speech, occupational, physical, and he had more of a floor time approach as opposed to a true ABA, although our therapist, Eric, who again, another angel, he was ABA trained, and so he was learning floor time. So Matthew got kind of a blended approach with Eric.
So I started finding out about all of the nutritional interventions and different kinds of therapies and all those sorts of things, and I never even contacted his pediatrician because what I found out very quickly is pediatricians don't give us any hope, they give us drugs. And so it was 9 months into his recovery before the pediatrician ever found out he was autistic. And it was in total denial. No, I didn't miss it. No, there was nothing wrong with this child. You were just comparing him to his twin sister and his older brothers and, all of that.
We started the diet at 2 years, 4 months, and that's when language started. We went gluten-free, casein-free, and we did it the way you're not supposed to. We went cold turkey. And he had a major, we thought it was just a diaper rash, but we came to find out it was a yeast infection on his butt, the die-off. So clearly the diet was doing something for him. And then speech started exploding. I kept a little diary. When I hit 300 words, I stopped. He had 300 words within the next couple of months.
I've done a lot of different things, but the three things that I saw immediate and dramatic improvement with were digestive enzymes, cod liver oil, and auditory integration therapy. And dramatic to the point that on cod liver oil he went from 3 words to 150 words in 45 days. On auditory integration therapy he went from crawling on all fours and being upside down and eating with his hands in 4 days, eating with a spoon and walking upright. So there was no mistake about, well, he's on several different therapies, several different things may have worked. Those were absolutely very dramatic improvements.
And he was looking good already at that point, but no reciprocal conversation. I mean, he could tell you basic wants and needs, and that was great. We were thrilled with that progress. But then we started with the chelation. Again, through Lisa Ackerman, we met Dr. Jerry Carcinell, and we did all the biomedical stuff at that point. We've been experimenting on our own with cod liver oil and Nuthera. But then when the panels were run and all the labs, we saw he was mercury, arsenic, and lead in the bloodstream. So when we started chelating, that was huge.
He had speech therapy, he had occupational therapy, sensory integration therapy. We did floor time, we did PRT, which is pivotal response training. There was occupational therapy. There was all of those. And what I always say is that I would never have abandoned those traditional therapies, but it was the nutritional and nutraceutical intervention that allowed his brain to access those therapies.
We didn't see anything the first round, and we were using DMSA, which made us very nervous. That was the most invasive thing we had tried. But after the second round, he and I were having dinner together, and I always kept up this running monologue just with language. We were just trying to inundate him with language. And so I would just give him this whole spiel about what I had done for my day. But in very simple terms, I was learning how to talk to someone who clearly didn't speak our language. And I told him I had gone shopping with Aunt Kelly, and he had said, "Oh, where did you go shopping?" And I'm like, my God, he just asked me a question. And so I said, we went to somewhere new off the 405 freeway, and he said, "Oh, what did you buy?" 2 questions in a row.
Start today. Whatever it is you do it now, because the neural pruning is going on. The neurons are firing. You haven't got a minute to waste. And a huge part of my son's recovery is because I didn't waste any time. And I have a cabinet full of supplements that did him no good at all. But I wouldn't have known if they were going to work if I didn't try them. And so instead of spending all my money on doctors and tests, I researched, and to this day, autism is still my life. I read and I become informed, and that's what helped my son to recover.
He's amazing. And the things that we've tried and learned and the people who we've met, they were all put in our path for a reason. And, it is so treatable. And we've only we've tried a lot, and we've had a lot of bang for our buck, so to speak. But there's so many other things out there still to be tried. So no, don't give up. You can't ever give up. There are our children.
I ride my bike, and I swim in the swimming pool without any water wheels. And I know how to ride my bike without any training wheels. And I know how to climb trees without any help. And I know, of course I know how to play, of course.
You're saying, first of all, can you give me 5 here? Good job. Thank you very much.
How have you liked it? How have you liked being a celebrity today?
Good.
Yeah, it's been good. Did you like talking to Mr. Phillips?
Uh-huh.
You like being on stage with all the lights? You can be a movie star?
At first I was a little shy, but then I get used to it.
Do you have a sister?
Yes, her name is Scarlett. She's over there in the blue dress.
So what do you want to do with the rest of your day?
Play with the ball.
Play with them.
Outside in the backyard.
That sounds like a good way to spend the rest of the day.
Can you say bye to everyone?
Doing this and doing this and doing this. I don't do them anymore. Mom gives me zinc to not do that anymore.